that OBS to work. For a while. Well, I guess since I say Streets of Rage 2, the only problem is, how do I get this window to be bigger? There we go. Okay. Is there a color enhancement for Streets of Rage 2? Oh, there is. Okay. At least I got OBS working. Boy, this ROM seems really... The audio seems all messed up. I agree, Sendrid. Was the audio getting all weird on the stream, or maybe it's just here? Try it again. Ah, why does it do that? I hate that it starts a game when you go to the core. Let's try the regular Streets of Rage 2. Yeah, I always forget it. As much as I play these games, you'd think I'd remember that stuff, but... Well, what it seems like to me is that there's an audio delay, but I don't know if it's just on my end or... Like, it still sounds fine, but it's not synced up correctly. But I have a feeling it's just OBS. So it is, okay. Yeah, I think it's something with OBS, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix it. Shit. Let's try something else. Well, actually... What the hell? Reboot it quick. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, this is going to take a minute, but the Genesis core has always been kind of weird on the FPGA. But I've been having a lot of problems with this version of OBS recently. It wasn't letting me broadcast at all. I was going to broadcast yesterday and it wouldn't do it. So I farted around a little bit with it this morning. Retrograde installed on the Oculus Quest from Nest Arcades. It's freaking eh. I don't need to play that stuff in VR. I just don't. I gotta play that Penn and Teller game today. They sent me a code for it for PSVR. Maybe I'll stream that later. Update to the Spectrum core. All right. Hey, White Spy. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be around very long. I may have to do something about this preview so I can play the game because I don't have it outputting to a monitor right now for this kind of stream. I was just messing with getting this Streamlabs OBS to actually broadcast today. That was the biggest thing. Fajita Thursday. Yummer. I think I'll probably just have noodles for lunch. I mean, if I really want to, I can broadcast something on PlayStation on this. I just got to be careful because I'm outputting a video on the Mac and it takes so much electricity that, like with my Mac on right now, if I try to boil some water in my hot water kettle, it kills the circuit every time in this room. No, this is not a RetroPie. This is the Mr. FPGA. So FPGA, you know, the clone systems are out there now from analog, especially like the Super NT, the NES version. There's a Mega SG for the for the Genesis. The difference is RetroPie runs off of software emulators, and they're good to a point, but a lot of them have weird errors here and there. The FPGA is a hardware solution, and you actually program the hardware itself to emulate the chips that are in the console, in this case. So the 68000 chip, there's actually a really good like software rendering of that for the FPGA so that you're actually simulating that chip itself in the hardware. And that's what the difference is. See, the chance, though, is that you're going to have a lot more accurate of a solution. And those analog consoles are fantastic. They're really, really good. This is more of an all-in-one solution where people can build cores for it. So there's the typical stuff like TurboGrafx, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES, Master System, etc. And it's rebooting right now. So the biggest difference is also people have written cores for this for a lot of other stuff. So you've got specific arcade games like all these. And like I said, what this is doing is actually simulating the hardware in that specific arcade box instead of MAME, where MAME just emulates stuff. So, like I can do this. I don't even know if I have Miss Pac-Man on here. Oh, I guess I do. So this is the true arcade ROM. Now I have to remember. Oh, I don't know. I haven't set up the joystick yet. Now I just have to remember how to put a credit in. There we go. So now instead of running an emulator like a lot of the collections, that sort of thing, this is actually simulating the hardware itself. Yeah. OBS does not like this solution because the audio is off again. Oops. Yeah, the audio's... Does it use the same ROMs as MAME? Yeah, it's because MAME uses a lot of ROMs that are like ROM dumps from arcade machines. So, yeah, it would use the same thing. And all it is, if I can get the camera over here, it's this little box right here. Sorry, the cable's not long enough. So it's just this little device. I haven't put a case on it or anything yet. But as you can see, it supports USB, so I've got a keyboard plugged into it. I'm using the Xbox 360 wire controller for it for controller. And then this little dongle here is for Microsoft wireless mouse, because you can also emulate or simulate like the Amiga on here and some other stuff that uses a mouse. There's also a way to use a mouse to simulate like the Super Scope on the SNES and the Menacer and other light guns, because a lot of the modern displays, obviously you can't use a light gun with them. So in a lot of these now and the SNES, and I've only messed with it a really tiny little bit, but you can actually emulate using the mouse as like a light gun. So I was playing Terminator 2 arcade game the other day on the SNES, that sort of thing. But it's really wonky, and you can plug a wired mouse in. It's just I had that laying around. I don't know why the audio's jacking up. Audio. So what do I have there right now? Let's see if this works. And then you can do computers. So I have most of these on here. Master System, I never really... I don't get it. And I think back in the day, a friend of mine had one, and I would play that Missile Command 3D every now and then, or whatever it was. And it was cool. The 3D was really good. But I never really understood the Master System very much. And I really don't understand the love today, except for the fact that it was a really big system in Europe. And I think that's where it did the best, there in Japan. But one thing that I've really liked on this one is somebody wrote an Amiga core. And I always wanted Amiga when I was younger. I had an Apple IIgs and I loved it, but I always wanted an Amiga. And they're actually simulating an Amiga on here. And the cool thing is somebody wrote this menu system right here. And if you go out, I can't remember what the website's called, but there's a legal way to buy the entire Amiga catalog, and it's like $40. And you can actually import all of those off the disk image to this. So I essentially have, I don't know how many Amiga games now. But for me, it was such a big deal because I always wanted an Amiga so bad. Yeah, and I get it. I mean, East started on the Master System and whatnot. I just never really understood it. Now, this ought to be interesting because I don't know if I can use... Well, we'll see what happens. I think I need the keyboard. So I bought this little tiny keyboard for it so it doesn't take up too much desk space. Now, how do I get... There we go. Sure. Are you getting any audio? Probably not. All right. So I must have screwed that up. the fuck? Sure. I don't know if there is any audio in this. Oh, I'm actually controlling this guy? Okay. Only my audio right now. How about now? Are you getting any audio now? Oh my gosh. Oh! One rock did that? That's fucking crazy. So anyway. So that, I mean, it's really, this thing's been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of tweaking and whatnot. It wasn't just something that you can pick up and play with. Actually, I think they had the same, or no, the Amiga definitely had better sound capabilities than the Atari ST. That I know. But it's just been a lot of fun, and compiling all these different cores and compiling all the games for all these systems has been a lot of fun. And one of the things that I was messing with lately is that I actually have a Bally Astrocade, and I didn't realize that this was on here. And I was thinking about maybe doing an actual video of this eventually. I don't know any good games here, Space Invaders. So the Bally Astrocade actually had a keypad on the console itself, on the front of it. And this came out, I think, a little bit before the ColecoVision, but it was, you know, it's definitely a better system than the Atari 2600. The controller is really weird, though, and that's where I was really interested if it would map correctly to something like this, because the controller, and I need to bring that inside today, it's out in the car right now, but the controller is like a vertical controller. So you hold it like this, and then there's a trigger on it, but then on the top there's a dial that you can, you know, twist, and then it can also move like a D-pad. So kind of like the top of the Fairchild Channel F controller, it's just smaller. So I was always really interested, but I mean, the system has some nice graphics, and the funny thing is, it's not sprite-based at all. Where's the fire button? There we go. So it's funny, if you look at this game on this system compared to the 2600 version, which is very basic, as the 2600 is. And obviously the sound capabilities for the time. Yeah, I think the sound is messed up on this even, so I'll have to figure that out next for broadcasting. But the Astrocade's an interesting system, and I didn't even plan on buying it. And when I bought the Emerson Arcadia, they gave me this smoking deal on the Bally Astrocade just because they wanted it out of the store. And it's boxed, but the box is in really bad shape and everything. But it was cool to get, and there's a couple of games in the box with it. I don't even know what I have. I've never powered it on because I don't really have a way to hook it up. I need an old VCR so that I can do some RF stuff. Look at that, I still got it. Oops. Going to Shakey's Pizza and playing Space Invaders. Let's bring back some memories. It's pretty cool that they got that heartbeat sound in this, because the 2600 version did not have it. And you know how I know that? Because I can play the 2600 version right here. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Sound chips back then, they would always have what's called a noise channel, and then they would have I can't remember what the other one is, like a beep channel or something like that. But I can go 2600. It's weird. I think it is vector based in some way, but what I read about the Astrocade is it doesn't do sprites at all, so you have to animate all the art itself. And I think it was vector based, but it's got a limited palette. But I think the colors on that thing really pop. You know, I really think it looks great. So here's Space Invaders on here. And it's always funny when you think about piracy, whatnot. I own, 5 2600s or something like that? And I've got a ton of games. So to me, I don't care if somebody wants to say you're a pirate, because I'm not. Oh, I don't even have Space Invaders on here? Oh, shit. It's funny, I played pole position on this and on the 5200, and I actually think this is better, this version. I think it plays better. ARG? What's ARG for? Oh, because I'm a pirate? I got you. Oh, boy. Oh, that's right. The button's the brake and it just goes. So this is pole position on the 2600. With the single sound channel, so the other sound has to... Okay, so that's the 2600. And then... let me show you this. Oh yeah, I mean, I played pole position like crazy on the 2600. But now if I go the 5200, which is funny, because I have one of these and I don't play it that often. I never really did. I have 3 of these, I think. People just give them to me. And actually, I found the box of games, but I didn't bring it home. It's still in my storage. But I have this humongous box, like a cowboy boot box of games for it that somebody gave me when I worked at Electronics Boutique. Sure. So now watch this comparatively. I really don't think this is as good as the 2600 version. Come on. That's right. It doesn't say prepare to qualify. And now I have to hold the button for gas. Damn it. For some reason, I just don't think this is as good. Why am I drifting? Weird. It's slower, it's clunkier. And there's more cars, yeah. Better sound, I would say. But I don't think it plays as well. Whoa. Ugh. Come on. I think there were signs in the 2600 version too, though, weren't there? Eighth place. Anyway. So it's just fun to be able to, and you can actually change the core right here too. I just keep rebooting because I suck. But if you want to see the Master System, wonder what game this loads up automatically. nothing. How about that? So now if I try to do... Hey, just remember, if you guys like follow or subscribe or whatever, it'll actually tell you now. Watch this. How cool is that? Honestly, I don't know if I've ever played Streets of Rage on this. Oh, did I ever set up the... There we go. Oh God. You say Mortal Kombat for the Master System, and that just brings back memories of my buddy Mike, the guy that sent me all those handhelds. He was always like a champion for the underdog kind of person, and he always wanted to give a fair shake to the Game Gear, which is essentially a Master System. It's the same hardware. And they were showing Mortal Kombat 2 at CES for the Game Gear, and he kept grabbing my video camera to walk around and take video stuff. So I get back home and I'm looking through the video, and it's not like I can edit the video. I was just literally, looking through it. That dude shot probably a half an hour of Mortal Kombat 2 in the Game Gear, and it's awful. I mean, it's seriously, it's awful. And it always makes me laugh when somebody mentions Mortal Kombat on the Master System or on the Game Gear. Okay, so... Oh my God. Oh, this is so bad. Whoa, how'd he throw me? Oh my God. The hit detection in this is nuts. Holy shit. I mean, he just throws me. And the thing about this is, like, this Mr. FPGA, it's awesome. And the cores just keep getting better and better. As you saw, there's an update script, and you can go through and update everything. But I will say, Genesis and Master System and Game Gear-wise, the analog Mega SG does it better, because it allows you to make a lot of tweaks to the video and choose different audio options, that sort of thing. I mean, this is really good, and it's awesome. But the Mega SG, the thing I really like about the Mega SG is that you can plug it into the Sega CD. And, I mean, there's not a lot of great Sega CD games, but there's some good ones. And it's just neat from a historical aspect and from a collecting aspect that I can play those Sega CD games, because I can play them now, and maybe I'll hook it up today because I've been kind of itching to try some stuff. But, I've got the OSSC. I actually have, for some reason, 3 Sega CD units because 2 of them broke on me. And I had this third one that I bought at a garage sale store, and then I had another one fixed. So I actually have a Sega CD dedicated to the Mega SG even. And it's been kind of fun. And the Genesis, one of the good things about the Genesis is that it had an RGB output right away. And back when it first came out, I didn't give a shit about that. I could care less. But now with the OSSC and the fact that I have the right cables for it, it's really badass. And the Mega SG does a fantastic job too, but it's kind of fun just to play this stuff. But one thing that Sega CD need a stream dedicated. I don't have Snatcher right now. I'm gonna probably acquire it soon. There was a store not too far from here that had a copy, and somebody stole it, and the cops caught the guy, and the cops kept the copy for like 4 or 5 months for evidence. And I was thinking about buying it, but I mean, Snatcher's gotten so ridiculously out of hand that I acquired it now, and I might just burn the CD and go that route so I can play it. And if I do, I'll definitely stream it. But that's the funny thing. Like, that's the only version of Snatcher that's got voice acting and text in English. Every other version's in Japan. Even the PC Engine version, that it's really good as well. It's only a Japanese version, and I've never seen a localization for it anywhere. So, honestly, this isn't bad for the Master System, though. For what the system can do, this isn't bad. I want to try to get the forums fixed up today for the upgrade, because the people that are doing the upgrade are kind of giving me shit, though. They give me a lot of excuses why they haven't done it yet. I'm getting a little sick of it. Man. Enemy AI in this is a lot simpler, I will say that. Again, this isn't bad for the Master System by any means. It's a good-looking game, too. Music's not bad. Whoa, what the fuck happened? That was weird. Man. The problem is there's no feel to this at all. It's like that Rushing Beat Shura game I was playing on the SNES a couple weeks ago. That feeling of impact, that feeling of interaction with the other characters just really isn't there. You know what I mean? It's almost like I'm playing an MMO. What the fuck? Yeah, I think this version is only one player Master System. If there's one system that I'm not really very knowledgeable about, it's the Master System. I will say that. And it's funny, you know, Mark and I both had Martin buy Japanese Master Systems for us, so we have the FM sound. And I only powered the thing up once. It's another thing I let Mark talk me into. Because Mark does that. He talks me into stuff. This isn't bad, though. This is better than a brawler on the NES, for sure. Oh, this is gonna suck. That's right, there's only 2 buttons, so I don't have a special, do I? Oh, it shows I have a special. I wonder if I have to hit... Yep, you have to pause it and then hit the attack button. Ha! Ooh, I'm almost dead. Pretty neat. I don't think I ever tried this. Yeah, well, Mark is worse with me to this day. He and I text a lot. We were just texting this morning, but he was busy. But Mark is very good at convincing me to do stuff, but sometimes I penalize him for that. So one of the things that is going to happen soon is I asked him a while back because this guy named Woozle created hardware to consoleize the Game Boy Advance. And I always liked the Game Boy Advance. I can't play it anymore with my hand the way it is. And this actually consoleizes it, so it gives it an HDMI output, but it also gives it a SNES controller port. And it's a great little system. It's 32-bit. I mean, there's some fantastic games on the GBA. And I've been kind of in a mode for GBA lately. And what the fuck is happening here? What's all that? And it's coming out. The samples are going out now, and Voltaire made a great video. So I sent when I saw that it was coming out and that it was going to be a pre-order, I texted Mark and I'm like, hey, would you be willing to solder this for me? Because there's a lot of soldering. And I showed him all the instructions and everything, and and he basically said, yeah, I'll solder it for you. And now Voltaire put out a video of him soldering it, and the way Voltaire does things, he always makes it look really difficult. So now Mark's all worried, and I'm like, well, when my buddy Mike sent me those handhelds, one of the things he sent me was another GBA. So I actually have 2 old school GBAs, and I've got a micro that I made Jared buy me a long time ago, and then I have an SP. But I can't use those because they use D-pads, and I can't do that with this hand. So I'm hoping soon that I'm going to have a real hardware GBA that I can use on the TV that I can stream with. So I can show you good games like that. There's a TMNT game from, I think, Ubisoft that's just awesome. It's a blast to play, and I've been emulating it lately. But what's up? It's too early to go outside. It's just 11 o'clock. You got to wait another hour. Yeah, you got to wait another hour. Yeah. You can come under if you want. You can come under the desk. Come on. Or are you just going to bug me? Anyway. So I'm really excited for that GBA console. And even though I don't have a job right now, I had already paid for it. So, luckily. And then this guy, Ben Jedwards, I think he's on Retronauts now, but he builds like old school joysticks. And I've bought a couple of his. He did this really cool Virtual Boy joystick, which I can't play the Virtual Boy anymore because of my thumb. And he did this dual stick setup for the Virtual Boy. And he and I we've been talking a lot. And I actually had him build a TurboGrafx stick for me. And it's really good. It's a good 6-button stick. But back Black Friday months ago, he did a sale on the Super Famicom / Super NES joysticks, and he never shipped them. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it made no sense because I was getting these other sticks from him, and I guess he was having a problem because he was using these joystick bases that Radio Shack used to sell, which is funny because I had an Atari Jaguar joystick made years ago, and they used that same base, and they were obviously Radio Shack's not a thing anymore. And he ran out, so he had to try to find new bases. So he never built the SNES ones, but he was building all these other sticks. So that's what was confusing about it. But I just got an email yesterday that SNES stick finally shipped, which I'm really excited for because all I have for the SNES is a SNES Advantage, which I don't like. It's real spongy. So I'm looking forward to having this one from him. Oops, wrong button, Glenn. Oops. Come on. The interaction with these barrels is a little weird. Now on the Genesis version, you can throw the projectile but doing jump and attack. But instead it's doing everything else but. I have no idea what that was. Extra guy maybe? They did pretty good with the sound chip on here, too, with the music. It's obviously nowhere near as good as the Genesis one, but... Oh, my gosh. Notice there's no punch or kick sounds whatsoever. Like, what was that? The 3 chimes that I just heard. What... Also, the sound's probably off right now, too, yeah. Now it's way behind. Gotta figure that out. I mean, it's just getting sound over the HDMI, so I'm not really sure why. It must be my AverMedia or something. Or Windows. Yeah. Oh, so now I get 2 of the Axe guys on here. It's funny because one of Mark's big things that makes him upset is the fact that he used to own Snatcher on the Sega CD and he sold it before it got really hot. So people are getting like, you know, $600, $800 for it, and he probably sold it for, I would assume, like $50. So he's all upset about that. But the funny thing is, he doesn't have an actual Sega CD. He's got an XI, which is really cool. He got it at MGC. He got it for a steal. And I've always been jealous of that because that's something I've always wanted to add to the collection is an XI. And or a Wonder Mega, but... This guy's a lot easier on the Master System version of this game. He's a little bit tougher in the Genesis version. Whoop. What? What was that? Oh, this guy's a dick. On the Genesis version, if you jump at him, he, like, phases out. Oh, he's a lot easier in this version. Oh, they actually captured the music a little bit. Get the gist. Oh, man. Oh, that got him. All right. So I've got this broadcasting, and I just have to figure out why I'm getting so many audio issues. It's funny, there's no jump sound, there's no punch sound. And it's still a couple seconds behind. Come on. Come on, let me punch him. Oh, I know what that sound is, the 4 chimes. It's to move forward. It just doesn't put anything on the screen. I gotcha. Jesus. That keeps crossing me up. What's up, Agent of Doom? So for anybody new to the stream, the audio is off, and I think it's a problem with my capture card or OBS here. But I was just having a problem with OBS broadcasting completely, so I've been messing with it this morning, trying to get it to work. So now my next thing is to figure out why the audio is getting behind. It's a couple seconds behind. This actually isn't bad. I've never actually, like, spent some time with the Master System version of Streets of Rage, but this is not bad. Now, actually, what I want to do is I want to see what Streets of Rage 2 is like on here. There were actually options. Ooh, wow. Yeah, so the sound's about a second behind, unfortunately. But I wasn't going for some kind of professional stream today. Whoop! Oh shit! Didn't know we started. Okay, so now there's sound a little bit of when I punch stuff. Nah, more than likely it's OBS itself. I've always had audio problems with OBS. Always. So I just got to figure it out. I'm using the Streamlabs OBS this time, which overall used to work a lot better. And then one day it just decided it didn't want to broadcast anymore, and that's what I was messing around with this morning. And now all of a sudden I've got the broadcast working, but it doesn't want to play nice with the audio. But audio, honestly, with OBS doesn't surprise me. This seems like there's less frames of animation or something. The Streamlabs one actually, overall, has worked a lot better for me than the regular OBS. But as of the last few days, it's been a real bastard. Holy shit. Man, these guys are just obliterating me. Now, see, oh, there we go. So I have to hit attack first and then jump, and he'll throw the knife. Okay. Music's good, though. Oh, shit. And they've actually kind of captured the game, I'd say. Obviously, the sprites are a lot smaller, etc., but for Master System, this ain't bad. Oh my god, I can't... Yeah, like the scrolling seems not as smooth on this version. Well, I mainly use OBS when I want to do retro stuff because it handles, it allows me to, you know, set the graphics options for older resolutions like this. Oh my god. I can't fucking hit this guy. Jesus. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've just always had a lot of audio problems with OBS in general. And that's why I was so impressed with the Streamlabs one, because it just seemed to work right away. But now, all of a sudden, it's being a dick. Oh, this game's definitely tougher than the first one. Fuck! This is from the Mr. FPGA. So it's a hardware simulation. If only I hit the right button. Oh my gosh! This guy's just crushing me. Holy shit! Alright, that's enough of that silliness. So there you go, there's Master System. Odyssey 2 I've had a hard time getting to work so far. And I've got one. But on here I've had a really hard time just because of the specialized controls of it. I don't know if I put Game Gear on here yet or not. Load Game Gear. I didn't put any Game Gear games on here yet, did I? Okay. Let's see. GBA. Which GBA doesn't work yet? Okay, so I didn't put Game Gear on here yet. Probably because I don't give a shit. Ugh. It's not going to be good for anyone. Come on. There we go. So the thing I'm going to mess with next is what I was showing before, and that's that Astrocade, because I brought mine home, and I don't have a way to record directly off the Astrocade right now. So this actually has a really good core for it. Game Boy works really well on this. I've never been that big of a fan of the Game Boy, but it does Game Boy Color, as you can see. They haven't nobody's written a GBA core yet, and I think it's because it's 32-bit. There are definitely limitations with this hardware, and I think 16-bit might be the limit. I'm not really sure, but come on. Did I just lock it up? There we go. Boy, something's not happy. And this does a pretty good job with GBA. You can load some of their masks if you want. You can get some scale filters, but you can also get like you can do inverted color. You can actually do different palettes. You can load a palette directly for a specific game if you want. Ooh, it's not. This thing is not happy with me today. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna probably quit anyway and try to figure out the audio thing with this. Why I'm getting so many delays, which never happened before. Thanks, man. Oh. Yeah, I think the FPGA needs to be powered off completely. Yeah, and it's freezing up on me now. Man, it's freaking out today. Whoops. So anyway. Alright, well at least I got this broadcasting now. Now I gotta figure out the rest of the technical shit. So thanks for watching. Change the category, bro. It's whatever category it assigned to it. Sorry, bro. Talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Like I said, this wasn't like an official stream for us or anything. I'm just testing more than anything else. So this might pop up again later on today. So take it easy.